afternoon, everybody, and thank you for your patience and hanging in there with us. It's a special day for all of us, an incredible day for all of us. So we are going to move appropriately because you guys have been patient and waited. And I'll give you an idea. We're going to hear from our owner, Mrs. Gail Benson, in just a moment. Then our Executive Vice President, David Griffin, Alvin Gentry, our head coach, and then Zion Williamson as well. And we'll ask some questions, then we'll open it up to the floor for all of you. First of all, congratulations. Zion, welcome. Welcome to the city and becoming a New Orleanian. These are good days, really good days. And I don't know if you saw the television coverage last night, but I have two left feet. I can't dance. I have a little rhythm. But when you said, let's dance, I started to look like Gregory Hines. It worked. So we all felt the same way, and we're really excited about what's developing now for our franchise. I don't know if you saw it as well last night on Fulton Street. Did you see the signs as well? We the South. I like it. I like it a lot. That's all good. The energy, the spirit that he has now provided and brought. And it started, don't forget, a few weeks ago. And it was early. Storm season was early. It was Storm David Griffin. And let's remember, when Griff came here, I always say bright, creative people attract other really bright, creative people. So I know they've had conference calls, but I also want to welcome Trajan Langdon and Swin Cash. And I know they're... So this is a really good day, a relaxed day for all of us. We've never had this much cap room. Thanks, Griff. So for all relaxed, there's a good reason behind it. I also believe in meant to be department. Griff got here. A lot of things fall into place, don't they? Trajan, Swin, now Zion. So we're going to hear from Mrs. Benson first. I could go on for a long time about how I feel about our selection and Zion joining us. But first, let's hear from our owner, Mrs. Gail Benson.
Thank you, Joe, for the warm welcome. And thank you all for being here today for what is an exciting day for our franchise and our city. Before I go any further, I would like to say thank you to all of our great fans, especially the thousands who joined us on our Draft Fest on Fulton Street last night, for their passion and support. We speak a lot about our organization being a family, and that certainly starts with our fans. I am so optimistic about the direction we are heading and what we will be able to achieve as a Pelicans family. When we welcomed David Griffin to the Pelicans, we spoke about changing the direction and the future of our organization for the better. I am thrilled with what we have witnessed so far. In short order, he has infused this team and this city with enthusiasm, hope, and a clear vision for success. From day one, our entire organization has been in lockstep with his plan to build a winning culture that will consistently compete at the highest level in the NBA. I believe we have put together the best front office in the NBA. And now we are thrilled to welcome our newest Pelican and his family to the Crescent City. To receive the #1 pick in the draft is a prize that any sports team would covet, but this one is different. When we won the draft lottery in May and earned the opportunity to select Zion Williamson, we could not have asked for a better player with more potential on the court. More importantly, we could not have hoped for a better person to represent and help lead our franchise into this new chapter. To Zion's parents, Lee and Sharonda Anderson, you have raised a very special young man who clearly reflects the values and beliefs you so strongly hold. We are blessed to have your family join our Pelicans family and feel so fortunate to be part of Zion's continued development both on and off the basketball court. Zion, we are so excited to see you in a Pelicans uniform, and I hope you were able to see the excitement from our fans when the #1 pick was announced last night in New York. This community is ready to embrace you with open arms. I read a comment from Cam Jordan just yesterday morning and could not agree more. In essence, he said, "If you genuinely love New Orleans and learn to experience this city, it will love you back many times over." Those of us who call New Orleans home agree 100% with Cam. I also know that your new teammates are excited to have you join them as we work towards our common goal of competing for championships. I am thrilled with the progress that David and his team are making towards building our roster to compete immediately while maintaining a keen focus on sustainable winning. While much work remains to be done, much progress has already occurred. We look forward to taking this positive momentum into free agency in July, training camp in the fall, and the start of the 2019-20 NBA season. Thank you all again for being here on this exciting day. Thank you.
Thank you, Gail. Great leadership is the key. There is no substitute for great leadership in the NBA. You can have the best players in the world, but you need great leadership, great coaching. And we're very fortunate here in New Orleans. And it changed, and let's face it, it changed, as I mentioned, with Trajan coming in, Swin coming in, because they wanted to be a part of something that's being built right now, and that's with great leadership. So I present to you now, we're fortunate to have him, our Executive Vice President, David Griffin.
First, I'd like to thank Austin Brown and Lisa Matulis from CAA, Zion's representation, for the way they handled every step of the process here since they got involved in the Pelicans family. Everything that has taken place from a professional standpoint off the court, I've never seen the equal of it. And so thank you very much, Austin, Lisa, amazing. To his family that are here in front of us, we had a very, very special evening the night of the lottery. I won't do this all the time, I promise. We had a really special evening the night of the lottery. And Alvin and I were able to sit with Zion for about 20 minutes, and we were so taken with him, we asked if his parents were there and if he would mind if they came downstairs. And so Sharonda and Lee came downstairs, and we sat for about an hour and a half together talking about what it would look like to be a member of the Pelicans family. And we had the conversation that if you choose us, we choose you. And we choose the whole family, because when we're raising a family, we're raising it together. And so Lee and Sharonda were very receiving of that message. I think Zion was as well. And I was really, really grateful that Noah and Tyreek could join us here today as well. The city will put its arms around all of us, but what we're gonna do is love each other enough to tell each other what we need to hear. And Lee embraced that night. And what Lee told me that night was they chose us. And there was a bunch of media around the very next day, some of you will remember, that Zion was gonna go back to school. He had wanted to go to another team. And all this media came up, and it was alarming, obviously, to someone in my position, because I'm trained to believe that when you sit in front of people, there may always be something else going on. So I reached back out to Lee and Sharonda, and I'm like, please tell me that's not true. And Lee was not a happy camper that I had to make that phone call. He said, did I not tell you, if you choose us, we choose you? I said, you did. He said, then what are we doing here? I tell you all of that to give you some understanding of exactly what Mrs. Benson says when she says Zion was raised the right way. These are people of their word. These are people that have been all about family from the very beginning. Zion stayed at a small school for high school, Spartanburg Academy, because his mother told him, if you can play, the coaches will find you anywhere. But you stay grounded, you stay with your friends, and you be Zion, and let them come to you. That obviously worked. And what it did is it laid the groundwork for a kid who is all about others, who's all about team, he's all about family, and he's not about himself. And the reason that was so meaningful for us is that's all we want to build. When Trajan and Swin came on board, we talked at length about what it looks like to raise this family. And so with all of their input, with the incredible front office we have that are here on the right, everything we do is about adding members to this family that are reflective of the same values that Zion's family have instilled in him. And fortunately, we are blessed. Drew Holiday is one of those guys. And when I said last night when we did our first media availability that Drew Holiday is the face of this franchise, he is that dude. This is his team, and we are all going to be made of the same stuff. And that means we sacrifice whatever it takes to win basketball games. And because Zion is the person he is, all he wants to do is contribute to that. So people looked at me kind of oddly, and it got ran many times again. He is not the savior of the Pelicans franchise. And he's certainly not the savior of the Saints-Pelicans family. Mrs. Benson and her team have done a remarkable job with the Saints building a winner, a team that wins at the very highest level, with the best front office anywhere, with the best coaching staff anywhere. They've laid a model out very clearly for us to follow. So there is no narrative that should exist that we are a stepchild of that. What we are is beneficiaries of the fact that they already know how to do great. They know how to do magical. It's our job to do that on this side, and Zion will contribute to that just like all the rest of us will. So I think I'm supposed to let Joel know I'm done so he can introduce this man. But thank you all very much. Take the journey and be mindful of the fact that it's going to take some time.
Thank you, sir.